Good morning guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. In today's video we are going to talk about another fragrance. Now this fragrance is from the brand Mast and Harbour and the fragrance is Woods. So you see we wear a lot of fragrance for to get compliments from others, right? But this fragrance is one of the fragrance which one wears for himself. Now why do I say that is because this fragrance is a good take or smell like of a very barbershop kind of fragrance, and that is 1881 from the brand Cerruti. So 1881 Pour Homme. This is a take on the 1881 Pour Homme, and in today's video we'll be talking about the perfume. We'll also be talking about the notes of the fragrance. We'll be talking about the performance, the longevity, and again should you or should you not go and buy this fragrance. Moving on, let's start with the presentation of the fragrance. So here's a quick look at the fragrance. So what I like about Mast and Harbour Woods is that the box is very minimalist. It looks very clean. There's just this simple logo of Mast and Harbour and the perfume name, that is Woods. Apart from that, this is an Eau De Parfum concentration. This is 100 ml. At the side of the box you do not see anything. At the top of the box, then again the Mast and Harbour logo. At the back of the box you see the concentration, the ingredients of the fragrance, the direction for its use, cautions, and the batch number and the manufacturing date. So this perfume is best before 3 years from now, so that is a good thing, right? Mast and Harbour is making this fragrance in India. So Mast and Harbour is a very popular brand for people who shop on Myntra and Flipkart. Now their perfume which they have bought is Woods. We'll be looking at the perfume itself. So the bottle of the fragrance is again very good. They have tried to keep it very minimalist, and apart from minimalist, what I feel about this bottle is the bottle is very vintage in itself. They have the frosted glass kind of feel. Apart from that, a simple Mast and Harbour logo. The Woods, again this is an EDP concentration. Now the cap of the bottle fits very tightly, and you can lift the fragrance from the cap itself. So they try to keep the bottle very minimalistic. I even like the quality of the cap because this is a very heavy cap per se, because a lot of caps these days are very standard plastic caps, but this is a very heavy cap. Let me show you how this atomizer of the fragrance performs. So it's not very strong, and it does not give a very high throw. The atomizer of this fragrance could have been better, but what we are really concerned about is the juice inside this fragrance. Let's talk about the fragrance now. Mast and Harbour Wood is a very woody aromatic kind of fragrance. This is a typical barbershop fragrance, so it is very aromatic, but also at the same time it tries to keep its freshness intact. The smell of barbershop fragrance is very classy and classy kind of fragrances. 1881 in itself is a very popular barbershop fragrance. Unfortunately, you do not get it in India, and even if you get it in India, it is priced at a very extremely high cost, although being cheap outside India. Apart from that, this fragrance is very cheap. You can get this fragrance for $3.99 at Flipkart or Myntra. Before talking about the first impressions of the fragrance, let's look at the notes of the fragrance. The top notes of the fragrance are Juniper, Cypress, Lavender, and Bergamot. The middle notes are Vetyver, Ylang oil, rose, and lily of the valley. And then we have the base notes of oak moss, pine tree, cedar, and musk. Talking about the first impressions of this fragrance has a lot of juniper added in the start. Now juniper is what provides it a very piney aromatic kind of scent. Apart from juniper, you see the use of bergamot in this fragrance. So bergamot is again used to make this fragrance a bit more cool and fresh. When we talk about barbershop fragrances, one thing always comes in mind is that the fragrance will be very fresh. At the same time, the fragrance will not lose its aromatic charm. So yes, the aromatic charm comes from the juniper notes and the freshness comes from the bergamot. Apart from bergamot, you see the use of lavender in this fragrance. Now lavender in this fragrance again provides this fragrance with a floral scent, but it is very lightly done. So that is again very good for barbershop kind of fragrances, because you make it that is a mix of aromatic, fresh, and floral kind of scents. So for the first 15 to 20 minutes, you will see the top note to be very prominent. After 15 to 20 minutes, the top note of this fragrance starts to lose its intensity, and that is where the fragrance moves from a very fresh and aromatic kind of feel to something very spicy, earthy, and green. So the yang in this fragrance is what is responsible for the sweet, earthly, green undertones. Apart from yang, you start to see Vetyver come into action. Now Vetyver again in this fragrance adds to the smokiness of this fragrance. So you see this fragrance move from a very fresh and aromatic kind of fragrance to a green, earthly, smoky kind of fragrance. Ride down of this fragrance is very different from the top notes of this fragrance. What I personally feel is that ride down is towards what the fragrance name is, wood. So the ride down is very woody. Apart from woody, you feel the notes of earthly, aromatic moss bring into action, and that is because of the oak moss used in this fragrance. The cedar wood used in this fragrance again makes this fragrance overall a very woody, aromatic fragrance. But then again, there is an undertone of balsamic notes. What it reminds me personally is a very good aftershave. So the whole essence of this fragrance is to provide you with something more woody, aromatic. apart from woody aromatic, at the top you feel the notes are very fresh, the notes are very aromatic. There is also a hint of floral notes. So what I personally feel, and a lot of you will agree with, is this fragrance is trying to give a very vintage kind of feel, a vintage barbershop kind of fragrance. It is woody, it is spicy, it has earthly notes. Apart from that, it is very fresh and gives it a very good cool start. Longevity wise, I will give this fragrance a 7 out of 10 because it lasts for around 3 to 4 hours and you'll have to reapply it after 4 hours. Projection wise, I'll give this fragrance a 7 out of 10 because at the start it gives you a projection of 5 to 10 feet, right? But then again, after an hour or so, you will feel the projection to be very close to the skin, maybe around a feet or so. Quality of the fragrance, again, I'll give this a 9 out of 10, and that would be only because this smells like a barbershop fragrance and I have personal love towards these kind of fragrances. So 9 out of 10 there. So when can you use this fragrance? You can use this fragrance in the summer, spring, autumn, but definitely not winter because this will give you a very bad performance in the winters. Occasions you can apply this fragrance to, you can apply this fragrance to almost everywhere. You can use this as your daily perfume. Cost of the fragrance, again, I'll give it a 10 out of 10 there because it is very well placed in the market. It costs around $3.99 for 100 ml of the bottle. So if you personally go for barbershop kind of fragrances, this could be a good fragrance for your collection. So that was my take on Mast and Harbour. I hope you liked the review. In the comment section, you can ask me questions about this fragrance. Also, I'll be making a review of the other fragrances in line. So the next fragrance would be Citron. So you can subscribe to my channel if you're looking for clone and alternatives to various fragrances. Last but not the least, I'll be adding the link of this fragrance. So if you want to buy this fragrance,